Hello you guys, welcome to today's video. So today's video is a much long-awaited video from you guys, and this is an update on Mr. Dior, which is the cat I adopted back in 2022. So it's been about a little over a year, like a year and a month now since I adopted him. And you guys have so many questions on how he is doing since he is an older cat, and just how I'm feeling post-adoption. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get right on into the video. So before he goes away, because he doesn't like when I talk for too long, he just doesn't like loud noises. He's a very quiet boy. This is Mr. Dior. So this is Mr. Dior. I adopted him December 2nd, 2022. He is about 16 to 17 years old. That's what the vet guesstimates his age at. He is a Siamese kitty here. He has the most beautiful blue eyes and he is cross-eyed. He is just my handsome little precious snuggle buggy, and I'm gonna let him down before he gets mad because he just doesn't like it when mom talks for too long. Okay, so that was Mr. Dior. Now a lot of you guys asked me how he is doing, and it's a long story. The last year and a month that I've had him, it has been a crazy journey, especially the first few months after I had adopted him. I did not know that he had a lot of health problems, and I don't believe the Humane Society knew that he had health problems either, because his health issues kind of came sporadically. It didn't happen all at once. So he had his first seizure about the last week of December, which was about 3 weeks after I had adopted him. And then he kind of started having them more regularly, but then they went away and then they came back. So the first few months of me adopting him, we had gone to the vets probably at least 6 times, which, if you guys don't know, the vets are, I have a hair in my mouth somewhere from him. If you guys don't know, vets are very, very expensive. So I will say he has cost me probably close to $6,000 in the last year, which was not a financial burden that I was prepared for at all in the slightest bit. So that was something that I've had to overcome. It's something that I'm currently dealing with. But basically, every time we went to the vets, I had to track his seizures, how long they were, how often they occurred. And we kind of did this over the span of about 2 months, and a lot of blood work to see, were the seizures consistent enough for us to get him started on some medications, or is it just a one-off weird type of thing? But he started having seizures quite frequently, up to even 3 times a day, which even on a person is extremely hard on the body. So you can imagine on a little bitty kitty how hard and stressful that is for the cat. And now it doesn't scare me as much as it used to, but for a while, probably at least 6 or 7 months, it's extremely scary. Cat seizures, if you've never seen one, are just so next level. They start thrashing around, they start salivating at the mouth, they lose control of their bladder, so they pee everywhere, and it's just such a huge thing. But most of the time they come out of it on their own, and it's not as severe as it looks. But the first like I said, 6 months, 7 months, it was very scary because you don't know what's gonna happen. For me, I personally I'm just oh my god, I hope he comes out of it, because the worst would be that he wouldn't come out of the seizure. So after a few months of tracking his seizures, getting lots and lots of blood work done, the very first medication was gabapentin. I believe it was 0.4 milliliters every 12 hours. So that was the first medication that we started him on. We added a second medication, which is a medication called zonisamide. We originally started at 25 grams, and he was on that for probably about 9 months, and then we did end up switching him recently to 50 milligrams, which is the highest dosage that we would put Mr. Dior at. So he is on 50 milligrams of zonisamide now. But we also, because his seizures happen more frequently, many times a day, we raised his gabapentin medication to 8 milliliters every 8 hours. But personally, I like to do 0.8 milliliters every 12 hours because when gabapentin is kind of like a sedative, it makes them really, really drowsy, sleepy all the time, and I just don't think that's any way to live as a cat. So if I sense a seizure is coming, he just does some behaviors that are associated with his seizures. I up his medication to 0.8 milliliters every 8 hours, but if I don't sense any seizures, I bring it down to 0.8 every 12 hours. But those are the 2 seizure medications he's on. So that was a whole thing in itself. Then while we were doing blood work for his seizures, we also figured out that he has hypothyroidism. Also gets a little ear ointment every 12 hours as well. Such a huge adjustment to have those 3 medications, especially like working a job that doesn't have consistent hours. And at the time when I had adopted him, I was also working up in a different city, which is an hour away at a hospital, so it was hard with my schedule to kind of do that. But he has those 2 issues to begin with. My options were because I personally think that he has a brain tumor, or like something nasally, because his nose has always just kind of been so incredibly stuffy. He sneezes everywhere. He can't breathe, like he doesn't have full nasal capacity. And when I adopted him, they said he had just had an upper respiratory infection, and that he would probably be stuck with a stuffy nose for quite a while. Cats who have like extended periods of time, an upper respiratory infection, just seem to have breathing issues in general, but I think it's associated with something else. If I wanted to, I could get a scan of his brain done, or like something put up his nose, but that is very expensive. I already spent a lot of money doing like baseline x-ray type thing, whole bunch of blood work, a whole bunch of medications, like just could not afford to do anymore, especially at the age he's at. Not that I don't want to invest a lot in him, but if he is not hurting or in any pain, I don't feel the need to push it any further than it needs to go. So that's just personally like my opinion. So that's kind of like his medical history that I know and am aware of. He weighs probably about 7 pounds. He's not much bigger than that. He doesn't really gain weight, and he also doesn't lose weight because of his hypothyroidism. He pretty much stays at the same weight. He is on a wet food diet only. Occasionally I give him like a half a cup of hard food. He seems to really like just as a snack hard food. His adoption video, I actually had like different bowls for him, but I've switched them. They are completely flat bowls so he doesn't get whisker fatigue. And here he comes. I am in the process of moving, so I'm sleeping on an air mattress, so he's coming up behind me right now. What are you doing, Bubba? So when I adopted Dior, he had this black little like almost like scab wart type thing. It kind of looked like cat chin acne, and that's what the vet told me it probably was, so I pretty much ignored it. But within the last, let's see, he's probably started around August, so September, October, November, December, 5 months give or take. That black spot has turned into about the size of a quarter, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. And again, this is one of those things where he is much older. It's not causing him any pain. It really itches, but he doesn't care if you like touch it or anything. So basically I just keep it very, very clean. I put a warm rag on it every single day to help keep it clean. I did ask about surgical options, but you have to get blood work done, which costs money. He would have to go under general anesthesia. Again, that's expensive. He would also, because he's so old, need an IV fluid, and The surgery itself is like $649 is what they estimated me at, barring that he doesn't need anything extra, which is way too out of my price range right now as a single income household. And also the fact that he can't breathe well in general, putting him under general anesthesia at his age, is not something that I feel entirely safe and comfortable with. So we have just left the mass alone, but it does cause him, because it like, he itches it and it scabs and it bleeds, he has bled over everything. And I own white furniture, like, it's been a lot of bleaching, a lot of washing everything, which is very unfortunate, because now I feel like all my things are ruined because he's just bleeding everywhere. But I promise you guys, he's not in any pain. I get checkups with him every 4 months to do blood work, to make sure his thyroid medications are not causing any weird things on his kidneys, and that his seizure medications are also not causing any weird things on his internal organs as well. Because after like prolonged use of the medication, it can wear down like certain aspects of an animal's body. So he is not in any pain. He is doing great. Otherwise, he's just got a lot going on, and a lot more than I bargained for, but he has also been the best thing in my life. He's offered me so much comfort. He is the sweetest, most chillax little boy ever that I've ever seen. He could care less if I leave a piece of food somewhere. He doesn't touch the Christmas tree. Like, he just sleeps. He just likes to sleep and cuddle. Like, he's so serene and the best cat ever. I literally love him so much. Isn't the healthiest of kitties, but he is probably the happiest of kitties. He has all the bougie snacks, all the bougie toys. He is living in this penthouse, a life of luxury. He has his own diaper bag when we travel. He has a playpen. He is living that bougie life. And he's just so much fun to spoil as an old boy, and just like my special little boy. So yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing a lot of you guys ask for, is like how I'm doing with like him post-adoption and how he's doing. I would say for the most part with Dior, I never know if when I get home from work if he's gonna be okay. So I just take it day by day. Like, he is just so medically fragile, and I just take every day with him, make sure he's the happiest, the healthiest he can be. And yeah, I mean, it's something that caused me anxiety for a really long period of time, because I was like, I just adopted this cat. I love him so much. I'm so scared something's gonna happen to him. But you know, life's gonna be the way it's gonna be, and I am taking care of him as best I can, and he's taking care of me as best as he can. So whatever time we may have together, he has been the best boy ever, and I'm so thankful to have him in my life. And I'm glad you guys enjoy him as well, because he's just a cute little boy, cute little senior boy, and he deserves all the love in the world. He does like to cuddle. He like walks up to me and stares at me, and it's just, he's so cute. He says "Mom" whenever I walk in the door. He's so good with car rides. He does so good when sitters watch him while I'm on vacation. Takes pills, because his zonisamide is a pill and his gabapentin is a liquid, so he takes the pill and the liquid so well. Super easy. Doesn't fight me on it. He is just a dream kitty. I wish he didn't have all these health problems, but he is as good as can be, and that's something that I've kind of always said on my channel, like when I've talked about him, is he's doing as best as he can be. He's not the healthiest, but he's not in the worst condition. He's loved, he's happy, and he is my little chunky boy when he eats. So yeah. So thanks so much for watching Mom's channel. Also, I wanted to mention, he is so good. I've had to give him a bath a couple times because of his chin. And he does so well in the bath. He just sits there. He just sits there and lets me bathe him. Doesn't fight me on it. Nothing. He's just the chillest boy. Look at this handsome boy. Look at this handsome boy. You say bye. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for loving me. Oh, so handsome. Mom loves you. You know that? Mom loves you. Stinky. Stinky.